Let's talk about Boots Ennis, who has had a pretty tough last few days. For the last few weeks, Sergio, there has been widespread speculation that Boots Ennis was on a collision course with Vergil Ortiz. Vergil Ortiz, who in the last year moved up to 154 pounds. This past summer, won a fun fight against Sergey Boachuk. He has been penciled in for one of those slots on the February 22nd show over in Saudi Arabia. Boots seemed like a natural fit. They were rivals at 147. Right after Boots' win over Karen Chukadzian, he said, I think I need to move up to 154. All the stars seem to be aligning for that fight, and now it's not happening. Apparently, Sergio, according to Eddie Hearn and others, the fight was appealing to Boots Ennis, but only at 147 pounds. Now, if you follow Vergil Ortiz, you know there was no chance in hell he was ever going to fight anyone at 147 pounds. Just look up what he went through between 2021 and 2023. All the health issues, some of which were weight related. He was never coming back down to 154 or 147, and Boots and his team had to know that. So Sergio, the facts are he was offered a boatload of money to fight Vergil Ortiz, and he is choosing not to. I know we don't like to use the word duck that often here on the show, but this feels like a pretty big duck for Boots Ennis.
I want to quack. I want to quack, but I got to have respect for this champion from Philadelphia, undefeated beast with pound for pound talent. He's a new signing to Matchroom Promotions. So I'm not going to go as far as to call him a duck, Chris Mannix, but I am going to say that he foie gras his way out of this. That's duck liver to you fancy people. Yeah, man, it's not a good look for Boots. It's not a good look because when you're a Philly fighter, man, you're supposed to fight anyone, anytime, especially when you're getting a lot of money. He's going to make a career-high payday to fight a non-champion, a contender, an interim champion in Vergil.
Low
what
seven
are you
figures,
afraid of?
good money.
What are you afraid of? So they paid you your career-high payday. It's going to be on a main event, on a huge card. All eyes are going to be on you, and it's going to be a guy that hasn't even won a world championship yet. This is exactly what you need to do. You're the champion moving up. What is going on? So I hate to be so hard on Boots Ennis, man, but I got to keep it real as a former champ, as a pundit, as a critic, whether you fight on this side of the street or not. Terrible look, man. He should have fought Vergil Ortiz, and Ortiz is looking like a monster right now because he goes, all right, I told you didn't want to fight me. I told you all these guys are avoiding me, and guess what? He's right.
None of it makes any sense, right? Like, we know that Boots wants to unify at 147. That was he kept the door, even in my conversation with him in the ring after the fight, he said, if I get a big fight at 147, I can still make it. But you look around, and you've got Amantas Stanionis already having made a deal with Shakram Giasov to defend his title there. You've got Mario Barrios out there. And for what I'm told, they're pretty close to making Mario Barrios against Conor Benn. Like, I know there's some stuff about there about Manny Pacquiao. I don't think that's real. So Mario Barrios against Conor Benn in the UK, chance for Barrios to make huge money fighting Conor Benn. That's very much in play. Brian Norman, we know the score there, right? Like, Brian Norman wants a pile of money. He's also, I know his team is talking about rescheduling that fight against Derek Cuevas for the first quarter of 2025. So unless something significantly changes, I don't know where, Boots Ennis goes from here. Even Eddie Hearn said, like, he's now no longer going to fight in February if he doesn't fight Vergil. He's going to have to be pushed to April, and I guess it could even be into May. That doesn't make any sense. It's not like he'd be moving up to fighting this career-long junior middleweight. He'd be moving up to fight a former 147-pounder who he's talked about fighting anyway. And by the way, Vergil Ortiz, Sergio,
who's had health issues
and who has not looked infallible, right? Like, he beat Sergey Boachuk, but he got dropped twice in that fight. If you made Vergil against Boots, I'd favor Boots, not by a ton, but I'd favor Boots early on in that fight. I think Boots maybe
at 154. There would have to be a rehydration clause, maybe.
No, you don't. Why?
Because I think Vergil would look a lot bigger.
No, there's no rehydration clause. It'd probably be for an interim title anyway, so like that, no rehydration clause. You don't need a rehydration clause.
But to your point, I would have to favor Boots in that fight.
Yeah.
To outbox him and maybe get in difficulty later in the fight, and then Vergil will have to do something great. and impose his size and will and maybe hurt or drop Boots. But yeah, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, Boots would have to be the favorite in that fight.
I think clearly. So that makes it. It just makes.
So what does that make it? Say the word, Chris Mack. Say it.
I did. I said it looks like a duck.
No, that looks like it. Did it quack like a duck? It
You
looks
just
like
said
a
full
duck. Did
gras.
it walk like a duck? Say the word, Mannix.
I just did.
Say it.
Sergio, the other part of this, I just said it. The other part of this that I don't really get is like, hey, all right, so you want to keep your belt. You just did a mandatory title defense against Chukadzian. You could keep the belt. You could move up to 154, take a fight. If it doesn't work out for you, drop back down, defend your title. I know guys, once they move up, they don't really like to move back down, but Boots is still young enough to potentially get back down and wait. None of this makes any sense, and it's just a bad look overall for Boots Ennis. Now, the Vergil side of it,